Usually we watch our Class Dojo series on Wednesdays. However, tomorrow is a special holiday that we will talk about tomorrow. So I want to be able to reserve our morning to talk about that holiday tomorrow. So we're going to switch and do our Class Dojo series today. If you remember, we've been watching some episodes with Mojo, and he has been in a bad mood and has had a poor attitude because he has not had control over where he wanted to go on the field trip. He wanted to go to the Space Museum, but he has to go to the boring old Flight Museum. Last week, you guys did a great job having a conversation about the bus driver sharing that attitudes are like airplanes. We can control if we're going to fly worse and down deeper into the storm, or we can decide that we're going to fly higher into sunnier skies. And we talked last week about how that means that we have control over the attitude that we choose to keep when something happens. Something might be justified in making us upset or angry or frustrated, and that's okay to feel that. The problem is when we choose to stay in that emotion too long, when we choose not to try to get out of that funk. So, we're going to see today if Mojo is able to get out of that funk. And just like always, there will be discussion questions for you to talk about after the episode ends. So, make sure you are ready for those discussion questions inside of your breakout room. Alrighty, without further ado, oops, I didn't mean to hide the video panel. Here comes your final episode in this cartoon series.
Mojo and his class had arrived at the Aviation Museum. He still wasn't sure how to change his mood to be good, but he sure was going to try. But try as he might, it was hard not to feel like the day just wasn't going well.
You're not a balloon, kid. You're more like the pilot of a plane.
Oh, it's hopeless. Even if my mood is a plane, I'm still not a pilot. Did someone mention a pilot? Said a nice woman's voice. It was Amelia Earhart, the first woman to ever fly a plane across the Atlantic. Well, I know I'm supposed to steer myself to a better mood. I just don't know how. Maybe I can help, Amelia said. Have a seat. Okay. Whoa! Mojo exclaimed. I've always wanted to fly a plane. How do you fly a plane? Start by checking what your attitude is. Right. Attitude? What's attitude? Your attitude controls whether your plane aims up or down. If your attitude is positive, your plane will fly higher. But if you have a negative attitude, your plane goes down too. Oh no! We're going down! Help! Ah, you've got a negative attitude. How do we steer up? There's no controls! Oh, I should have mentioned this plane is controlled by your attitude. All you have to do is change your attitude to be in a good mood. We're going to die. Now, Mojo, changing your attitude is easy. No, it's not. The cafe food looks terrible, and the lines are too long, and I wanted to go to the Space Museum. Oh, there's your problem, Mojo. Instead of wishing things were different, focus on what you can control. What can I control? I can't control what our trip was. I can't control where the bus stopped. I can't even control how long the line is. You can't change how long it is, but what could you do to still have fun? Oh, I guess I could play some cards with my friends while we wait. And that would mean the longer the line was, the more time you'd have to play. Huh, you're right. Wow, thanks Amelia Earhart. Say, why is your exhibit so empty? People have a hard time finding me. You're having a pretty lucky day, Mojo. Mojo realized that he would never have met Amelia Earhart if all the things he thought were bad hadn't happened. Have you checked your attitude recently? Is it positive or negative right now? And what can you do to make it more positive?
All right. Oops, didn't mean to stop sharing. Here we go. Okay. There's more to life than just being a passenger. That's what Amelia Earhart says. Life is more interesting when you take charge and become that pilot. All right, the first question that you are going to discuss. How does Mojo check his attitude indicator? So what's going on in his head when he has to check his attitude? You're going to share this with your breakout room. What is going on? Oops. Here we go. When Mojo has to check his attitude. All right, here come your invites and go. Later. How did Mojo check his attitude indicator? What did he do to check that attitude? How did he check it? Anton, how did he check his attitude?
He checked his attitude.
He what?
He checked his attitude.
How did he do that? What did he have to think about?
Happiness to
Okay.
make the plane not go down.
Yeah, he had to kind of change his perspective and say, what can I find to be happy about? Great. Vinnie Jackson.
He thought about the stuff that he could do fun while the line was too long.
Yeah, he said, I'm in this situation. I might as well make it better. And also the question, is Amelia Earhart real? Yes, Amelia Earhart was the first female pilot to fly over the Atlantic Ocean. Awesome. So 2 strategies there to think about how to make it better and to find better things that we can do while we're stuck in those negative situations. Awesome. All right. Our second question that you are going to discuss today is, if you're in a bad mood, how can you steer your plane into a good mood? So remember, you don't actually have a plane, but kind of that metaphor. If you're in a bad mood, how can you change it to be in a good mood? Here come your invites.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
The question was, if you are in a bad mood, how can you steer your plane into a good mood? So if you're struggling, you got a bad attitude going on, how can you change that? Christopher?
Well, thinking of positive things.
Yeah, change what you choose to think about. If it's negative, think about something positive. Great. Aiden G.
To go where your happy places.
Yeah, change your environment a little bit. If you're struggling and in a funk, you can actually change where you are to help you with that. Excellent. Having a safe place or a happy place for yourself. Very good. What more? If we are having a bad mood, how can we change that mood into a better one? What control do we have? Sinky, let's hear from you, bub.
If I was in a bad mood, I would just think about something else, and I'd think about something happy or something, and then go up into the clouds.
Awesome. So agreeing with what you said earlier and changing what you think about and thinking about something else. Awesome. All right. Our final question for your discussion today is, you may not be able to control what happens to you, but what can you control? So for an example, Mojo could not control that he had to go to the flight museum, but what could he control while he was there? So you may not be able to control what happens to you, but what can you control? Here come your invites and your discussion. Control. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but what can you control? Terrence, what can we control?
Where you steer and how
Excellent. Where you steer and how you choose to focus. Great. Leah.
You can control your emotions.
Yes, your reaction might be negative, but where you choose to stay in those emotions is up to you. Aiden G.
I can make my emotions happier by doing what I most like.
Yeah, you can control what you do in those situations. Good. Oscar.
You can control your feelings.
Yeah, your feelings and how you choose to stay after an event. Vinny.
The way you think.
The way you what?
The way you think.
Yeah, the way you think. You have control over what's going on in your head. You're the only person that has control over that. Oscar. Did you have something else, Oscar? Oh,
No.
gotcha. Sorry. Saw your hand up. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have concluded our moods and attitudes section of our social emotional learning. And I want you to make sure you remember that your initial reaction might be negative, and it might be okay that it's negative. It's okay to feel frustrated, angry, sad, upset. Those are all things that it's okay to feel. What we need to work on is making sure that after we have that initial reaction, we don't allow it to shade our entire day and to ruin a whole section of our time because we choose to stay there. So we have to make sure that we have control over our emotions after an event takes place. Very good. All righty.